symbol of excellence in sports entertainment.
What's happening, everybody? The Job Guy is back with you one more time. Nitro Nick could not be with us one more time, so we have gone to the bullpen over here like the Tigers did till about 3 in the morning last night against the Mariners. We have brought in our buddy we haven't seen in quite a long time, Kevin Gemble, in the house. And it's a good thing you're here because you're like the biggest John Cena fan I know. So we'll get into that as well. So, hey, buddy, glad you could be here and appreciate it, man. It's been a long time.
Yep, glad to be a part of it.
Cool, buddy. So we're talking about Crown Jewel, as you already know. If you clicked on this, we thank you for being here. Please hit like, please hit subscribe, and all that good stuff. Crown Jewel for the first time, Kevin, not in Saudi Arabia, in Perth, Australia for the first time, but they have all the same rules. So we got the champion against champion thing. We'll get into all of that as we go. Before we break down every match and what happened, a lot of people think an all-time classic went on during this pay-per-view. Overall, just give us a top to bottom, whatever you want, 1 to 10, A through F. What do you think about the show overall?
I'd probably put it in the B range in there. I really like the Cena match. I mean, the other matches are good. The title for title, we'll get into that a little bit later. Not really title for title, but the Crown Jewel ones. But they're good matches, but a little lacking in, I think, some of the stories there. But we'll cover some of that later. But I enjoyed the pay-per-view, and it's kind of broken up between I watched 2 matches, then my kids bowling, then the 3 matches after that. But thankfully was able to avoid the spoilers, but I enjoyed it. And like I said, probably solid B.
It begins with Roman Reigns. He's taking on Bronson Reed. It's an Aussie street fight. I read somewhere that this was the first time Roman's been in Australia in 7 years. I don't know if that's correct or not, but even if he wasn't, man, what a pop for Roman when he came out. It seemed like he hadn't been there for 20 years. You know, they loved Roman coming out to start this sucker out. What do you think of him? And go ahead and you can tell me a little bit about the match. I don't know if it was too surprising. I won't break it all down. You can tell me exactly what you thought about some of the moves and things. Everybody comes out as you knew they would in a street fight. The Usos are out there. The Bronze are out there. Jay accidentally spears Roman through a table. Then they tsunami him. And Bronson Reed, I think, I'm not too shocked, picks up the win. Your thoughts and anything about the match you want to go over? Go ahead, Kev.
No, I enjoyed the match. I'm a Bronson Reed fan. Not one of them where I think he needs to be world champ, but I think he's a great IC US title guy. He's got a unique look to him. I've always liked him. And like we said the one time at SummerSlam, when Roman comes out, the whole atmosphere changes. Especially today. The crowd just was into it, and I love watching Roman. And I mean, the match was what you expect with the street fight. They're all over the place. There's chairs. I liked Roman doing the acknowledge me if you want a table and pulling it out.
That was the first time, I think, he's been a good guy now for over a year, but I think this is the first time he's really played up to the crowd the way he did. They go into the crowd right away, and he comes out, and he had like a rugby ball, and he whipped that at Heyman, and then he had a cricket mallet or whatever you call him, a club, I'm not sure, and he's swinging that, and he was swinging it around, getting the crowd going, and then what you said, he grabbed the mic in the middle of the match and goes, hey, acknowledge me in the middle of the match. So I don't think I've seen him play up to the crowd like a true babyface before in this match. But any shock to you as it went on, as we knew chaos would happen? Like I said, the Bronze come out, the Usos come out to help him, and they continue this playing of what's going on with the bloodline here. After it's done, caught on the mic was Roman saying, people don't think I can do blank without you guys, or I can't do blank on my own, I believe. And then he says, I don't want to see you guys again till Christmas.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
So, so they continue playing that up. And then Jay gets up as he's had that little attitude lately. And then he goes, Roman's going to do him. He's going to do him. And then he leaves Jimmy in the ring. So we still don't know what the heck's going on here with the bloodline. What are your thoughts about that? And where do you think they're going? Because a lot of people think it's going to be Jay turning. I don't know if that's a good idea. What do you think about that whole thing?
I know in WWE, I know they can't turn Jay with the way the crowd gets into his intro and the yeet. And like, I don't see them turning him because I think you don't kill the golden goose. As we heard even during the 80s with the Hogans and the others, you don't kill off when you're selling the merchandise.
Too bad, Jake. You're not fighting Hogan anymore.
Yes. And I don't know I know Roman was supposed to be filming. I don't know if he's gone for a while. That's why they kind of played it up this way. But a couple things during the match I liked, and you probably pick up on this being the television guy. When Braun went to do the spear and he goes to run around the ring and they go to that kind of angled overhead camera. I thought that was a cool shot.
Yeah.
To show that running around the ring. And I think Braun's the next. I mean, he needs time to get there, but he's got it. As long as they do it right, he's going to be a big star.
Yeah, that seems to be what everybody, and especially the people in the business, think. If you watch this show, I do think something is missing there. I'm not sure what it is, but it's not there yet. But he definitely, I mean, he looks like Goldberg, and he acts like Goldberg, so it's definitely there.
And I love Braun. And I love back to Braun 3. I like him because he can take some shots. Like, it took a lot for Roman to get him down, so it's unique to have someone like that who can take the clotheslines and so many shots before going down. So it's kind of like back in the old days, like Akeem and the Big Boss Man.
Asked him to be the first black heavyweight champion of the world.
Yes.
The Tsunami takes people out, and it's a unique look.
You just took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say, we grew up in the golden era where not everybody was 6'4" and jacked, and that's what it turned into there for a while. So like ruthless aggression area and things like that. I mean, everybody's just jacked to the gills. No, it's good to have a variety of bodies, a variety of sizes, and he is definitely that. And with the Tsunami, he can move around for being as big as he is. He can really move around. Big push for him, though. I wasn't shocked, like I said, but they say it's just the second man to pin Roman in I don't know how many years. Well, it's actually the third because Jay did it too. But in a singles match, Cody beat him at 40, and now this. So Roman helping out a guy there, even though it took a little bit of chicanery. What do you think about the bloodline? Where are we going? Jay, obviously, you don't think he's going to turn. I think Jimmy is going to end up the one turning. I don't know how they get there.
Yeah.
Because to me, and I'm not into the whole yeet thing, but it makes no sense to take that away from him. Because then what do you have? If you take that away, what's there with Jay? I'm not sure. Any idea there?
I think Jimmy will end up maybe turning, but like even a story last year at Halloween, there were a few kids walking around the neighborhood and Jay Uso with the glasses at Halloween. So that's where I come from, where it's like, I just don't see him. A lot of the kids love him. But Jacob Fatu kind of seems lost. I don't know if he gets brought in because he hasn't been around as much recently either. And
no.
I know there's a lot of positive reviews of Jacob Fatu. So
yeah, and I don't know. I assume he's going to fight Drew now after what they did Friday night. You know, Jacob comes over, says, Cody, hey, I want a shot at you. And then Drew beats him up. So that seems like a good feud. Where they're going to go with that, who knows? But will that be Jacob's ascent, to the main event? We'll find out in due time.
Because the next pay-per-view is Survivor Series, right?
Yeah. And for Roman anyway, everybody assumes the bloodline's going to be in there with whoever, another two guys. So they're going to be in. Maybe it all comes to a head at that. I'm not sure, but I figured, Bronson gets the win here because then the bloodline and those guys are going to win again at the pay-per-view. They did that like a year before as well. So we will see as far as that goes.
And we've talked that the Vision needs a win. They need wins.
Yeah. Cause again, it's not been done well. I think the last couple weeks have been better teasing the dissension, which we'll get into more as we go here today. But they've been teasing like, hey, Seth, if you don't win, something bad might happen. And they did that again today, and they win the entire night, actually. So as Seth wins, as we'll talk about as we get there. Next one, our first crown jewel matchup, I guess, women's crown jewel championship. The two ladies, the two champions going at it. Tiffy taking on Stephanie Vaquer. Tiffy got a huge pop on Friday night. She gets another one here as she comes out. Bigger than Steph. I mean, they were really into Tiffy here. This was maybe the one match on the show. I had no idea who was going to win. I think the other four, like, pretty sure we know. This one, I didn't know which way they were going to go. You got Tiffany coming in. She has not been beaten all year long. She won the world title. She beat Charlotte Flair, who they pump up as the biggest woman that there is, knocks her off. And now she hasn't really had much to do, but she keeps winning and winning. Stephanie, kind of weird, Kevin. She won the belt kind of by default. I wouldn't think she'd be the champion right now because Naomi won and she was going through that big push. Oops, she gets pregnant. And now they were kind of scrambling. Well, now it seems they are balls to the wall, strapping the rocket on Stephanie. Stephanie wins this thing. She misses the prettiest moonsault ever. Stephanie goes up. She hits her finish. 1, 2, 3. She is the crown jewel champion. Your thoughts on the match? And then just maybe where does this put both of them now? And it kind of strange. Maybe talk about how we got there with Stephanie getting the rocket strapped to her.
Well, with the Naomi, I was loving Naomi's push, and it's a great thing she's having a baby, so she leaves for a positive thing. But she was on a roll. It's probably the best run of her career. I love the Naomi character and what they had done with her. She was one of my favorite parts of the show. So to lose her's tough, but I'm more of an NXT guy than you are, so I've seen Stephanie before, and I've seen some of the stuff. I really like her. I'm surprised they shot her up so quick, but I know Triple H is a big fan, so seeing her get the title, and then these matches are always odd to me because it seems like down the road Tiffany versus Stephanie would be a huge match, and she's one of the big bullets in the chamber for title, no story. And I thought the match got off to kind of a little clunky start. Stephanie seemed to be a little more physical than Tiffany was ready for, maybe, or some of like the boots to the face, and is a unique match. But once Tiffany stepped up, I mean, I like the end, and they were really going, and I like Tiffany too. So, some of the cartwheel into the Alabama slam's a cool move. And I think I texted you during the last one. I liked it was one finish. Stephanie hits the move, boom, it's over.
Well, instead of then this was the match you liked on this show then, because there was every other one had about 50 finishes. How about Tiffy though? 'Cause a year ago I was like all about her. I thought she was going to be amazing, but then they turned her face and she was kind of a tweener. We didn't know. Now they fully have made her face, but her gimmick is heel still. But once she knocked off Charlotte, she's had nobody to fight on that SmackDown roster. Like all year, she's fighting Nia, and she's kind of toying around with Jade, and it's just like she's good, but these aren't like feuds people really can sink their teeth into. I don't think anyway.
Do you think
now she loses, and she loses that undefeated streak? Yeah. What do you do now with her? I kind of see her in limbo. I don't know. You tell me what you think.
Do you think they lost a little faith in Jade Cargill? Because I thought that Jade would be the one to knock her off, and then she has a path, and do they not trust Jade? So here, Tiff, you hold the title, and now we're stuck in these, she's done the feud with Nia. And then you have, Asuka, Io, Rhea all tied up with, their feud. So she's kind of in a weird spot right now.
Yeah. And the whole women's division, I think has been cold. I for at least a year, if not more than that. And then they've had monkey wrenches thrown in everything. Bianca broke her finger at WrestleMania and hasn't been since. She can't bend it. I don't know if anybody online, if you're online, you probably know that, but she literally cannot move her finger, and it's still jacked up. That's why she's not around. Then Naomi gets pregnant. Then Jade gets smoked into the steps and looks like Rocky Balboa, So I assume she has a concussion and she's out. So they've really been snake bit, and luckily for them, people love the Devil's Kiss and they love Stephanie. So, yeah, I don't know. They're kind of in a weird spot right now. And then you bring up the one I thought was going to be huge, Julia. Yeah, she's the U.S. champ, but what is she doing?
She on the milk carton my son used this morning for his cereal. I haven't seen her, and
Yeah,
she
missing
defended the title since she's won it. I don't looking.
I don't think she's defended it, and they gave her Kiana to talk for her, but that's just kind of there, that not really anything happening. Hopefully they heat her up because, yeah, man, I think she could be really good. So I don't know the language barrier or whatever, but yeah, missing side of a milk carton.
Yeah, coming from NXT, I think they really wanted to push Julia more, but when they were together, the crowd just loved Stephanie. Like you could tell that Julia's good, but I really like Stephanie. There was just something about her that.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's her butt bouncing up and down. Yeah. And Wade Barrett said it today when he said when she did that movie, he goes, I closed my eyes. And then Cole goes, yeah, you got in trouble last time because he said like some super sexual comment when she did it. And I was like, we mentioned it on the last review. We're like, what did he just say?
I like big butts and I can't not lie. You other brothers can't deny.
That's what it is. I mean, because she's not super charismatic either. And she's done a great job. Her language is fine. I can understand her. She's perfectly fine. But she's very like, I don't know if stoic is the word, but like she doesn't really like exude charisma. And even when she like stands there and she holds the belt and then she just goes,
yeah,
it's like very, you know what part of her body has the charisma, and that's what people are cheering for.
And a round thing in your face. You get sprung.
She can work. I mean, her finish is sweet. I love the finish. Yeah. Let's go to the back. And now we're getting more into that storyline with the main event. The Bronze are back there. Heyman interrupts him, says he's making plans for Seth's victory party. And then he's like, but don't you help him? And Breaker asks, well, what if Cody wins? What do we do? Paul comes back and goes, I think you both know the answer. Now, you can take that both ways. Obviously, Seth didn't lose, so they don't need to worry about breaking up. But he also said in that, Kevin, he said, now you're both like main event level. I forget the exact line he said, but going back to what you were saying, everybody's saying Braun Breaker's the next guy. Braun's the next guy. Heyman has said that. Oh, he's going to main event 10 WrestleManias. But then he said, now you're both on that level. Forget about teasing tension with Seth. Are they now teasing tension with the two of them? Because now Braun is going to be worried. Wait a minute. Did Bronson pass me by? Is Bronson bigger than me now? Wonder what do you think about all that? There's a lot of layers right there.
Yeah, I still think if Heyman ends up with anyone, it's Braun Breaker because, like you've said, he needs something. He's missing a little bit of the charisma, missing something. He's got all the physical tools.
Oh, yeah.
But I just think Heyman will end up with Braun Breaker, kind of like when the young Brock Lesnar came in and you had a physical specimen and he needed Heyman to talk for him. And, Brock could do everything in the rings. Same with Braun. Braun can do all the stuff. He needs the mouthpiece. So I see Bronson kind of getting pushed to the side just because I feel Bronson's cap is that IC US title. Maybe every once in a while he gets a world title shot and you figure he won't win and go back down. But I think he'd be a great US champ, IC champ. Kind of that's his ceiling. So I think he's the one that gets kind of pushed off to the side eventually, or it ends up with Heyman going with Braun Breaker.
Okay, buddy, here we go. The match really everybody wanted to see. Of course, we don't know how many more we're getting from John Cena. So it's John Cena taking on AJ Styles, renewing their rivalry from 2016, 2017 there when they've had 3 classics. There was no build to this match at all because Cena wasn't on TV. It was just over the internet. Hey, you want to fight one more time? Sure. Okay, let's renew our rivalry. So here they go. That's basically what they did. And everybody's hoping, hey, put on another classic. And I was a little worried because it seems like every one of AJ's big feuds for like the last 5 years been a little disappointing. We're like, oh my gosh, the Shinsuke rematch is going to be great. The Logan Paul match is going to be great. Yeah, Edge, whoever it is. And then they weren't bad or anything, but you're just like, yeah, man, I thought it was going to be great. It was okay. This all over online, everybody on earth is saying match of the year, best match I've ever seen, amazing, blah, blah, blah. Cena comes out to just a ridiculous pop, dude, like loud, insanely loud. He grabs Stu and shows everybody, and we didn't talk about that. Dude, when I turned it on like 10 minutes late, and I saw all this yellow in the crowd. I'm like, is that like the Australian flag or their colors or something? Like, why are they all wearing yellow? They were all Cena shirts. Like, the entire building was wearing the yellow Cena shirts. So they were into Cena, dude. They were over the moon for Cena. I know you are too. I'll let you go. I've got some thoughts on this. I will talk about them after you. Go ahead, man. Tell me what you thought about this match.
I even love the intro. I'm an AJ Styles guy too. In my closet, I got a bunch of TNA DVDs because of AJ Styles, and Daniels, and those guys. So to see him get the cool intro before the match with Cena too, I like that. That was a cool touch with the Cena kind of giving him respect. And
yeah, do you think that was a surprise? Because he looked like when he said Bullet Club, I think it was a surprise.
I think a lot of it was a surprise. They might have told him something was coming, but kind of not telling him what exactly it was. So I loved the intro, and I thought that was a great start to the match. And I started writing notes down just of all the different, when Cena did the Miz, the skull crushing finale, Rusev's move, hitting Orton's move, and then the Sister Abigail. Then all of a sudden the crowd's pulling the lights up for the Fireflies. Like, a lot of cool spots in there, and I like the kind of callbacks to all their opponents. I mean, AJ hit Christopher Daniels' moves, hit Samoa Joe's the Coquina Clutch. Like, they both hit moves from some of their biggest rivals. So I enjoyed that. And I think AJ is awesome at the kicking out at 2.99. Some of them close calls. Young wrestlers need to watch him, and how the ref doesn't tell, AJ doesn't tell, and sometimes is it like, oh, he did kick out? Where other times you can tell the ref kind of does that little shoulder hitch or something, like, the kick out's coming, but some of them were so close. I love that. And especially, like I said, seeing get into, you did Undertaker to finish it off. Like, I enjoy the callbacks, and I wouldn't call it match of the year. I really enjoyed it. It's the one match I'd go back and watch from this pay-per-view, but it's partly the nostalgia, like the WrestleMania 40 finish, when you get to see all your Undertakers and all that stuff. It's kind of just a fun, match that way, just for all the extra little things like that.
So about, I don't know, halfway or 3/4 of the way through the match, I got a text. I was texting a couple of guys through the match, and I get a text, and it says, I know you hate kicking out of finishes, but I'm having fun with this match. And I agree. This match was fun. I have no problem with this match whatsoever. I enjoyed it. It was fun. And it started out kicking out of the AA. Everybody has been kicking out of it time and time again. And my whole thing is, that's so dumb. If somebody kicks out of your finish 5 times, you probably need a new finisher. So I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, well, maybe that's why he's doing everybody else's finish then. He's trying out new ones, because his apparently is not working. So he's trying all these. So I'm already kind of mad because he's kicking out. And he has done, he did Edge's move, and people, and then Edge saluted him back on TNA on the pay-per-view, their last one, or not TNA, on AEW on their last one. So when he did the skull-crushing finale, I was like, okay, he's doing that move. Well, then came the Malls of Jericho. Then came Sister Abigail. And you're right, the place went crazy. And I think he did that move just about as good as Bray Wyatt did. I mean, it was great. He even had the kiss in there and nailed him. So I think he did that about as good as anybody. vintage Orton, and then it ends, as you mentioned, the roll through, which he always does. He catches him, rolls through, and instead of going for the AA tombstone, then he picks him up and nails the AA, and that was the finish. But I'm like, I wanted to see another AJ Styles John Cena match.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see everybody else match. Like, I understand why they did it, and maybe they said, hey, we already had 3 5-star matches, we got to give them something else, or we aren't able to do that anymore. Although Cena just had a great match with Cody, so I don't know. It was just like, it was very contrived to me. Like, once they hit like the second one and then the third one and the fourth one, I'm like, oh, they're just going to do every single finishing move there ever has been. Like, when's the leg drop coming? You know, like I was just like that. And like, speaking of contrived, I knew this was coming right away. I wrote down in my notes, I go, here come all the, this is a love letter to wrestling tweets. And every single person on earth, including The Undertaker and Frankie Kazarian, tweeted a love letter to wrestling. Triple H on the post show says it was a love letter to wrestling. I'm like, this is so contrived. Like, it's like forced. It's like too forced. I don't know. It was too forced for me. I enjoyed it. I liked it. But like, greatest match of all time? Come on. I'm surprised I didn't see comparisons to Rock Hogan. I thought I'd see a lot of that too. I haven't seen a single one of those. I think they knew that would pop people. Like, that would pop people. And, well, if it works once, let's do it twice. Let's do it 1,000 times. It was like the opposite of cheap heat, where you go in and you rip on, hey, the Pistons suck and the Tigers suck and the Lions suck. It was the opposite of that. Like, what'll get them to cheer? Hit everybody's finish 1,000 times. So, but it worked. I mean, the crowd loved it. Obviously, the people loved it. I mean, I'm literally seeing greatest match I've ever seen. Greatest match ever. Way better than the Cody match. Like, logically, it didn't make any sense to me. Like, you're going to do a bunch of moves you've never done before and expect that to beat the guy? Like, and again, it just became a gimmick after like the 20th one. I'm like, all right, let's go. Again, I had fun. It wasn't bad. It was a little too much. And I text Nick then afterward, and I said, what do you think about the Cena match? And you know, he and I are like basically wrestling twins. He goes, everybody's going to hate me, but it was just a match kicking out of other people's finish. And I'm like, that's what I thought too. And I told him, people think it's the greatest match of all time. He's like, that's like saying the home run derby is better than the World Series. And that's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. I didn't hate it. I wanted to see Cena and AJ. Classic. I didn't want to see AJ against everybody else. You know, but again, maybe they thought they couldn't pull off what they did before, so they went a different direction. And again, man, it's WrestleMania 25, and you know I don't like WrestleMania 25, HBK Taker, because it's nothing but kicking out of finishes. But they found a formula that worked, and that was this formula, you know? So it worked, obviously. I personally think it ruined wrestling, because that's all matches are now, and we'll get into it again in the main event. But was it enjoyable? Yeah. Am I 5 stars? No. There's no way. There's no way I can give it that. But I totally get why people liked it. Cut scene.
And it's one of them where it puts in perspective. Now, I heard someone say that Triple H almost books for moments. So I'm waiting to go on YouTube and see Cena hits Miz's move. Cena hits Rusev's move. So how many of these YouTube videos are going to pop up in the next couple hours where...
Oh, they already have. Yeah, they're up.
And like I said, it was fun. It was, one of them when you're, it's kind of like a cheat meal on a diet. It's not much, you enjoy it, but okay, let's get back to the, normal. I would have liked to have seen them kind of round back, hit a couple, not as many, then get more, like you said, into the AJ Cena material. Because it seemed almost like WWE versus TNA, because like I said, it was AJ was hitting Christopher Daniels moves, Samoa Joe moves, and
he came out wearing his 20 years ago ring gear, his short shorts that he has not worn since like 05 TNA.
I know, like I said, I go back to the NXT, some of the Gargano stuff. There'd be some of them matches I'm looking at the watch going, all right, dudes, like, let's wrap this up. I didn't do that in there. I enjoyed the match, and I'm not looking at the clock. And so it was, like you said, it was fun.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing about it is does that then ruin other guys' finishers? And I guess you don't need to worry about The Undertaker. He's not wrestling anymore. But, like, did you downplay other guys' finishes by just using them as moves, like a right-hand punch? Did you do that? I'm not sure if you did. Obviously, the people in the building didn't, and everybody I read online today, they don't care what I have to say. So, yeah, it's perfectly fine.
And on that, we're both old school. I heard Jake Roberts, someone asked him, what do you think of DDT's being a transition move? Just means I did it better than everybody.
Yeah. Well, and again, I'm sitting there during this match and the next match. I watched none of the next match, and here's why. I'm trying to think, I'm trying to justify the way other people felt about it. And again, I'm like, well, I guess if your move doesn't work, you try other moves. Or maybe the logic behind it is, oh, he'll never think that I'm going to do the Mrs. move. Let me see if I can nail him with that and catch him off guard, So, trying to justify the logic for it. But just like everything else in the Cena run this year, it just seems like everything is being booked for that night. Especially since they turned him back face. It's like nothing else matters tomorrow because Cena's not going to be back, I don't think, again until like Survivor Series. So this is literally the one-off of all one-offs. Nothing else matters past tonight, or nothing else matters past whatever else day, that he's on. So the Brock day, why they still never said why Brock did what he did, and then he just leaves. It's Io and Rhea, the hometown girl, taking on the Kabuki Warriors. As I said, I was reading online and writing down my notes. I watched like none of this except for the very beginning and the very end. I saw people saying, Cody and Seth, man, they're not going to be able to follow. They're not going to be able to follow that Cena match. They're not going to be able to follow it. Well, Rhea and Io couldn't follow it because I literally didn't watch a second of it. I saw Rhea's entrance over as Cena was, obviously, and then I saw the finish. It ends with a riptide and then an over the moonsault 1, 2, 3. Did you watch it all the way? And what do you think?
I watched the match. It's a good match. You were at WrestleMania 18 with me, and it's like, what do you remember about the Trish Lita match after Rock Hogan?
Didn't Jazz win or something?
Yeah, she had Maple Leaf gear on, and that's about it.
Yeah, which I would have remembered regardless. But yeah,
yeah, but it was good. I mean, all four of the women are great wrestlers, and like you said, Rhea is, when her music hits, the place erupts, especially at home, and she's singing along to her theme, and she's coming out with the people, and I mean, when I first saw her in the Mae Young years ago, it's like, all right, this woman's pretty good. I never would have thought well, first of all, she was blonde haired and looked completely different, but
looked like Charlotte.
Yeah. It was like, okay, she's a good wrestler. I never would have thought she would have been the one out of that group to be the next up, way high on the totem pole.
Yeah. Yeah. I do know that they did the old school thing that like the first 10 minutes of the match was all Io. They made you wait to get that hot tag with Rhea. I did see that. And then again, the place just blew the gasket. Another match, it was what it was. You knew who was going to win this. This isn't Vince booking people getting beat in their hometown like they used to, regardless of who you were. So you knew what was going to happen in this one. And The good girls win, and they hug at the end. Where are they going now? Do you have any idea? Are they going to fight for the tag belts, or is this another, okay, it's cool, and then they're going to go on their way? Where are these two going?
Well, is this the mutual respect? Because isn't Io the one person Rhea hasn't beat?
Yes, sir.
So it's maybe they'll, Rhea will keep her close, and then maybe Io's the one that takes out Tiffany Stratton or something. They move them, and that gives Rhea a chance to get another title run or get in the title mix. But I know Triple H is really high on Io, and she's phenomenal in the ring. She makes it look a lot easier than the sport actually is.
Yeah, no question.
And I kind of feel bad for Kairi Sane and Asuka. They're kind of lost, and the Asuka switched so many gimmicks and acts so many different ways that you kind of lose track of her. But Kairi Sane is good, but I felt she's just kind of there.
Yeah, well, and with this whole thing, all she does is sit there and act worried all the time. She just makes that scared face, and then she puts her head down and walks away, like when you yell at your dog for chewing a sock or something. You're like, and then she leaves. She doesn't do anything. I think she's an awesome worker, man.
Yeah.
Best elbow since the Macho Man, dude.
I mean, I think you get 2 matches out of there. They'll probably Asuka Kairi at one, once Asuka finally slaps, Kairi or loses it and Kairi decides to fire back. And then you get Io Rhea. But I think Io Rhea is one of the matches they're going to save for a big pay-per-view because that's, we always talk about money matches. Like that's one on the women's side where give me Io, give me Rhea one-on-one. And, that can sell a big pay-per-view or be a main event on one.
No question. Main event time. The 2 world champions going at it for the giant oblong-shaped belt. Cody taking on Seth. Now, last year, and you mentioned it earlier, I was so against this pay-per-view because you split these belts. Everybody already thought the Gunther belt at the time was the B title. You knew Cody was going to win, and then your world champion is less than the other guy. And here you're doing it again, and this is a feud that's got history to it. I'm like, you're just doing it kind of for a one-off pay-per-view. But I liked this so much better because they did make this match about more than that fake made-up championship that you're not going to see again for a year. I mean, the whole build-up they did with Seth. Now, they made it obvious he was going to win, but the build-up worked. I have to win. I have to win. I'm 0-3 against Cody. The Heyman stuff saying, yeah, if you lose, I might regret leaving Roman Reigns. I mean, that stuff made you forget about the fake belt. It was really good. He does win at the end. I thought they telegraphed the finish a little too much as well. Good storytelling, though. I don't know, did you watch, or anybody out there, if you watched the Cody Bus podcast with Becky Lynch? Like 2 months ago.
I've seen parts of it.
They threw in there, just out of nowhere, who knew it was going to lead to this? Cody brings up the watch. He's like, yeah, has he ever worn that? Oh, yeah, he wears it. Oh, yeah, I've never seen him wear it before. Oh, and it just seemed like an awkward real-life moment. Little did you know that plays into this. Seth starts bringing out the watch at the kickoff show in Perth Friday afternoon. He walked out there on the stage with the bronze and with Paul, and he didn't say a word. He just was standing there like this the whole time, like for 5 minutes. He just stood there, and then he walked away. And then they show him take the watch off in the ring here. You're like, all right, he's going to hit him with the watch. I mean, that's how it's going to end. And that is how it ended. And Seth wins it. Your thoughts on the match, other than what I just said there with the finish and how it did finish, and did the right guy win and all that?
Seth had to win. I figured the same way. Like they got to get Seth the win here, and I'm just glad there wasn't the Bronsons, the Bronze, Becky didn't come out. Like I was glad it was them two, and yeah, it was still with the watch, but it was Cody and Seth, and and I love the polka dots on the tights and the Seth doing the little Stardust. Hand signal, and even the boots had the gold to it. Like, is he kind of poking at him? He's got the polka dots on the side, and are those like Stardust type boots? And the mental games going back and forth. And I thought Seth is an awesome worker. It's my only complaint. I know I've told you this before, is like DDP and old WCW. He's got so many gimmicks with the the clothes and the singing along and but when he gets in the ring, he's so good. So I wish they'd peel some of that away. And sometimes, when you make him serious for the first time, it's like, man, he wants to win. He's not goofing off as much. And I think they need to give him a little more serious edge.
Well, and you saw it here with the way he was working too. And that plays back into the Cena match. He started pulling out all the stops. He got his finisher kicked out of. Pedigree, stomp, kick out. Cody hit his finisher, kick out. So Seth starts doing moves we've never seen before. One being a coast to coast. Cody is hanging upside down on the one turnbuckle. Seth comes flying in like a missile, and people think he may have really got hurt. He just headbutts him through the air, just spears him through the air. We've never seen anything like that. Some other moves he was doing, Spanish fly. I don't know that we've seen Seth do that. We may have, but he was pulling out on the stops and they're kicking out of him. And kind of maybe like the other match, I'm pulling out all the stops, but that was more cartoonish because you're hitting other people's finish, where this dude's hitting legit nukes on guys. And speaking of that, I was like, it's 11 in the morning. I'm going to have a heart attack at 11 in the morning. Like, this was my worst nightmare. I mean, Cody hits a crossroads off the top rope. And I'm like, Cody's going to win. No, kick out. Like, what is it? The Enola Gay is going to have to come out at some point. Like, that's how these matches are going to end here. Like, oh, nope, it's got to be Enola Gay off the top. Like, where's Little Boy? Dude, they've killed every finish on earth, man. And it was just too much. And finally he does. He reaches over, he grabs the watch, punches him in the head. Then a stomp off the second rope is what finished it. But I thought the match was great. But these finishes,
the crossroads means nothing at this point.
You're literally going to have to nuke a guy.
Like, I feel the crossroads is just another move now, because when's the last time he hit one and beat somebody with it?
Excellent question.
Never. Like, and again, I'm sorry. Dude, Undertaker and HBK ruined wrestling. I mean, it did. What is it going to, and we joke about that all the time, but I'm like, not kidding now. Like, you're going to have to shoot on SmackDown. They brought fire back on SmackDown. I mean, he threw a fireball. Alistair Black threw a fireball in his face.
On Tuesday night, they had Molotov cocktails on AEW.
My gosh.
Like, it's
Darby Allin's got a blowtorch every week.
It's like you said, I'm one of them, and I'm going to really make myself old school here. Is when Pat Patterson, when they lost him, I know Pat Patterson was the guy who booked the finishes and stuff. And it's
best finish guy ever, allegedly.
Yeah. And I don't know what it was about that era. They were able to protect the people, protect the finishes, and you had the drama without having to hit 7 or 8 of the moves. And I know outside of the Warrior Macho Man match at WrestleMania 7 in that area, only Hogan kicked out of finishers. Yep. He was the only one to do that. So it gets disappointing. I know it's the NXT, that era with the Garganos and them. That was every one of their main events was kicking out of finishers and 30 of whatever their move was. So I'm the same boat. It's like at some point, maybe 2 or 3 finishes. Now I'm hitting it off the top rope.
Off the top, yeah.
Maybe they'll film vignettes of Cody trying to learn new finishers because his doesn't work anymore.
I don't know, man. And this isn't like we're not doing this for clicks, or I'm not doing this for clicks. I'm not doing this to be different, because you just brought up the Warrior Macho Man match. I'm the only person I know on earth that hates that match. I hate it. I absolutely hate it, because it kicks out of 1,000 finishes. Both of them do. 11-year-old me was like, what the heck, man?
My view on that was different, because I was just crushed the Macho Man lost. He was my favorite, but I don't know how you get out of it now.
I don't know now. I mean, you got to protect him, I mean, you just have to protect them. I'd like to hear like what the Undertaker and those guys think about matches like this. And I'm surprised he tweeted about, thank you so much for writing a love story to wrestling and all that, because I have heard him numerous times. You protect your finish regardless. Nobody kicks out of that crap. You protect it. And I think Sean is about the only guy that ever did it like that anyway. Hey, let's get into it. Nick and I have been doing this after major pay-per-views. Our top 5 men and women. I will give mine. Kevin, how about you start out with yours? Give us your top 5 females as of right this second, and start at 5 and go up to 1.
See, I had the problem figuring out 5 at the bottom. I had like a pretty good top 4.
Yep.
And then the 5th one, I was debating between like a Becky Lynch, some of them, because her work's been good with AJ. I had notes on my iPad where it's like, is it Becky? Is it, trying to think of some of the other ones. I had a Chelsea Green because some of her stuff, but I put Becky at 5 because, and especially back to I know this was the previous pay-per-view, but the facials when AJ Lee came out and that stuff, like Becky's so good at those little subtleties to, oh my God, AJ Lee's 5 foot, 100 pounds soaking wet, but Becky's, shaking. Like she's so good with them little things. And so I put her 5. I had Tiffany Stratton at 4. And then the one that I was debating 2 and 3, I had Io Sky at 3, Rhea Ripley at 2, and then Stephanie at 1.
Okay. Yeah, we're very similar. We have the same 5 ladies in a different order. But yeah, I've got Tiffany at 5. And yeah, she's still the champion. I believe I had her number 1, actually, maybe 2. The last time we did this. I'm worried about where she goes now because, as I said before, you took her streak from her. She got beat by a girl who's just became the champ. I think they said numerous times, 19 days ago. So she got beat by her. The SmackDown roster's kind of weak. She still gets popped, but I think she's kind of like Steph. She gets popped because she's pretty. Like, I don't know that there's much behind it right now. I'm a little worried about her, so I have her at 5. Io cracks my ranking for the first time at number 4. There's no denying she's over. She's probably the best worker they have, and she's over. People like it, so I got her at 4. Rhea at 3, even though she is kind of like thrown into this Kabuki Warriors feud, just kind of there. You can't deny she's over. And if they put her in any other feud right now, it would be over. So she's at 3. I got Becky at 2. I believe I had her number 1 for the exact reasons you said before. I had her 1 last time. Yeah, she's the IC champ, but the promos were great. They were great. I didn't care about AJ one lick, but she made me care about that feud. She was good. She was the best person in that feud, I think, by far. Everything about it. And I want to know where she goes next, actually. But, her work speaks for itself. And then Stephanie at number 1. I mean, she's a world champ. People like her. And she just knocked off the undefeated girl. So I got her at 1.
Who did,
there you go.
Just on the outside, I think Chelsea Green was like my 6th because I know you don't watch NXT, but she's been doing some cool stuff with Ethan Page there, and it's a little different than her SmackDown character. And you're like, man, she can do a little bit of everything. Like Chelsea Green's just, when she's on TV, it's like you can't help but notice her. She if it's 30 seconds, she takes them 30 seconds and steals the theme. So
if she was in anything productive currently, she would be number 1. I mean, Nick and I have been talking about that forever. Like, when she won that U.S. belt, I thought that was going to be her catapult. And then they didn't really do anything with her, She was, just, again, kind of like Julia. It's like, first of all, they don't need those 2 secondary belts. But it kind of just stalled her, Like, she is so good at her character, man. So charismatic. She's great. Yeah, I would love to see her get a massive push somewhere, somehow. Yeah, I'm with you. How about for the fellas?
For the fellas, it was a little tougher for me trying to get the bottom 2. I mean, I'm trying to remember what I had on my list. I think I had Sami Zayn 5 with the U.S. title and his stuff there, And then I think I had CM Punk at 4 because the work with Seth Rollins, and then my top 3, I was, kind of nitpicking who's 1, who's 2, and but 3 is probably Drew McIntyre. He might be my favorite on the male roster right now. When he's on there, he's so good. And then I put Seth Rollins at 2 and Cody at 1.
Seth Rollins, Cody at 1. Okay, so we got a completely different list here, and I can give reasons why. First of all, I didn't even consider Punk, which is kind of weird. I don't know why I didn't. Probably just because he hasn't done anything since that AJ feud. Drew was hard to not put on here. It's just like he's my favorite. He was my wrestler of the year last year. I mean, he's so good, but they don't. He's like just kind of stuck, He's stuck on that. He is a main eventer, but he's not I don't know. He's just kind of stuck, and we'll see what this Jacob Fatu thing does. I pulled this one maybe out of my butt, and my whole list is going to be more about reactions. I got Dom at 5.
Okay,
Dom is over. I mean, and I've loved him forever, but he's old. When he comes on the screen, people react, and he is the double champ now and all that. He's just that slimy little prick, but it works, and he's good at it. So I got him at 5. I've got Cody at 4. Now, I am not the biggest Cody fan on earth, and maybe that's why I have him at 4. Where does he go now? What is his, he's just stale to me. He doesn't suck. He's not bad. Obviously, people like him. Kids like him. It's just the same thing all the time. So he's kind of stale. Maybe a tie for 4th or 3rd with Seth. I think Seth has been much better the last 2 weeks since they've teased, I got to win this. I think that has been much better. I thought he wrestled awesome today. So maybe those two are tied. They're the world champs. This is where the controversy is going to come. And you said it. When he walks in the room, the world changes. Roman Reigns is number 2. He was not on my top 5 at all last time because he wasn't on TV. Well, guess what? He's been on TV the last couple weeks, and guess what? People give a rip. I mean, he's the guy. I mean, he is the guy when he's there. Now, will he be here in the next 6 weeks? Who knows? And number 1, he is the guy when he's there. John Cena. John Cena is the biggest star in wrestling right now. And Roman and him are 1 and 2, the biggest stars in wrestling. And you saw it today. I mean, that whole place was yellow. The whole place, man. I mean, people are a match I was entertained by, I'd say 3.5, 4 stars. People are talking 7-star match. I mean, because it's him. If it was anybody else, I don't know if it works, but it was John Cena, and John Cena on his retirement tour, so it worked. I mean, he's the big. We're gonna miss him when he's gone.
I had Roman and Cena, but it's their special attraction. Do I put them on the list?
I know it's tough. Well, PWI didn't put Roman on again for the 2nd year in a row. He's like, oh, you only wrestled 4 times, so you couldn't put him on. But it's hard to argue when they get there. Well, and that's why I like having 2 of us do it. You get 2 different perspectives.
And on Dom, I need him versus Cena because the one belt Cena has never gotten is the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
And Dom has that, so that's just
or the AAA title. Could you imagine?
Yeah. That would be fun though. Give me Dom, give me Cena. That's
dude, what if Dom beat him in his last match? How funny would that be?
I mean, I never thought Dom was going to get to where he was. At first when he came out, it was I don't know.
Rough.
But he's leaned into the gimmick, and you want to not like him, but it's kind of like Chelsea Green, where he's so good, you just kind of end up liking him.
Yeah, he places in Chelsea. It's funny too because I think any acting coach would look at that and be like, Wholly overacting here, Chelsea, but it works. You know, it just works. And there's something about Dom. It just works. I mean, ever since he went to jail, that freaking convict, it's been great. And again, it's your list, you know, so anybody can put whatever. And Dom is one of my favorites. So
he's so good, and I think the him and Liv Morgan thing, me being a college football guy, you always see the memes of the kind of dorky guy with the really attractive girl in the South. Like that's him. It's him and the SEC girl with Liv Morgan. Like, why are they together? How do you
what did this guy do? Yeah. How much money does this guy have?
I always say this is a weird pay-per-view because you get the big oblong titles and then, okay, now we're back to Survivor Series. So Tiffany and Steph go their ways.
Right.
Cody and Seth go their ways. And, you know, now we pick up even AJ and Cena are going to go separate ways. So really the pay-per-view didn't advance much storyline wise outside of the Roman Reigns. And then with the Rhea, Io, and Asuka and them a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where all those go because nothing was resolved in any of those things other than Seth finally ended up winning and didn't need help other than from Mr. Rolex there.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we appreciate you guys making it all the way through. Kev, appreciate you filling in for Nick, man. This was a blast. We got to do it more often and let us know what you think in the comments. Am I absolutely out of my mind? Am I a stick in the mud, you know, old man Jim Cornette?
Shaking your fist at the sky.
Old man points at cloud.
He's nothing but a fucking job guy.
If you liked what you heard, please hit like, please hit subscribe, and check out our other stuff. We got a whole lot of stuff there in the archives. Kev, thanks, buddy.
Hey, you're welcome. Well, love the invite, so appreciate it.
You got it, man. Until next time, job guys, out.
You smell something, it's us, because we're the stuff.